Hello, English readers. Welcome to a new live read along of the graded reader adaptation of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. I'm Lydie and I'm an English teacher in France. I'm also the founder of Lydie's book club, in which I host live readings of adaptations of classics or contemporary novels of English literature. And I tend to prioritize books that are written by women. Also, once a week, I meet the members of the book club via Zoom to discuss the chapters read over the week. We also talk about books and learning English, and also daily conversation about what's coming into our mind as well. And this month, with this new live read along, in addition to the 12 live reading sessions that I'm hosting live this month. So now we've done over 10 sessions already. And now this week is going to be the last live reading week. And we're going to finish reading Jane Eyre. And in addition to those live readings that you can find also on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and on Spotify as well, I found that listening to live readings or conversation is much easier, especially on Spotify, especially when you're driving. It is much more, let's say, user-friendly, especially when you just want to listen. So in addition to these live readings, I'm hosting 3 live workshops on 3 different Saturdays. So we've done one already, and there is a second session this Saturday in which we will discuss the chapters read last week. So we will explore chapters 6 to 9. And to have access to these live workshops, to be part of these live workshops, you have to become a member of the book club or at least on that month. If you are not sure if you want to continue, then subscribe for this month if you're interested in these series of live workshops, and then you can stop your subscription at any time. But I would say that if you want to improve your English in a long term, I would suggest you to be a member for much longer and stay with us, stay with the community of English readers. So today we're going to read chapter 11, no, chapter 10, sorry, I got confused. So we're reading chapter 10. And if you would like to know more about Charlotte Brontë, Charlotte Bronté's life and work, I invite you to listen to the podcast episode 20, an introduction to Charlotte Brontë and Jane Eyre. You will get an overview of the novel, as well as getting to know the author, Charlotte Brontë. So I'm just gonna say hi. Hi, Kitty, welcome. Today, I hope you had a lovely weekend. I had an amazing weekend in Barcelona. I took part in the Innovate ELT conference, which is a conference for language teachers, English teachers, but also language teachers. It's not only exclusive to English teachers. And it was amazing to meet all these people, all these teachers, and teaching language, also teaching professionals, whether people are in the tech or in different part, management, leadership, whatever. It was a great experience, and I did my talk. There were so many people present in the room. I didn't expect that so many people would be present for my talk. It was unbelievable. Unfortunately, I just have a short video of me just before I started the presentation. I completely forgot to ask someone to take pictures or film me when I was presenting. So it was just if anyone took a video of me, maybe they will let me know or send me the video. Anyway, it was an amazing experience. I had yes, Katie saying how exciting I saw the photos and the videos. Yes. um it was such a lovely place. I had the beautiful weather, and also the school, the language school, is located in the heart of Barcelona. It was my first time in Barcelona as well, and it was beautiful. I really enjoyed this city. Um, there are large avenues and big streets. You have space. Quite warm though, much more warm than in Bordeaux, in France. Um, and yeah, the buildings are beautiful. I wish I had more time to explore the city. Maybe next year, I hope. That's my goal for next time I'm back in Barcelona, is to have a little bit more time to take some days off to explore the city a bit more, to have more time to explore the city. So yeah, it was a great weekend to also disconnect, to change a bit of environment, and yeah, change have some fresh air, change a change of scenery, I would say. Yeah. So it was great, 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 great. So now let's get back to our reading of today. Before I start, let me do a quick recap, because I left you off with the last live reading was on Thursday, and it was the last yeah, it was last Thursday. So it's been a few days that we've read the book. So let me recap here. We left off where Jane left Thornfield, and she is now in a small town called Whitcross. And there she found a house, a little cottage, in which you've got two sisters and a servant who lives there. And then there is the brother, Mr. St. John, and he is going to allow Jane to come in because the servant doesn't want to open the door to Jane. She's in a very bad state. She's she's very weak. Remember, she walked all the way. She walked quite for a long time. She didn't have any money. She forgot her little bag with clothes and stuff in the carriage, and she couldn't find anyone in the city, in the little town of Whitcross, to give her some money, to give her some food, or a place just some food. So she slept 2 nights outside in the forest, and she's very exhausted. And as you can see here on the illustration, she's literally on the floor. She fainted at the door of the cottage where the two sisters, the Moore house, yeah, where the two sisters, Marie and Diana, the two sisters are here. They're represented here. That's Jane. That are what yes, so they so Jane, yeah, sorry, I forgot my thread of thought. So Jane fainted at the door while the servant Hannah would not accept her to come in. And at the same time, at this moment, Mr. St. John arrived at the door, or he is back from his day, and he sees this poor woman on the floor and asks Hannah to bring her inside. She gets some days, a few days to recover from her tired walk and being hungry as well. So she starts eating again and getting back some energy to be able to answer all the questions that that Mr. St. John and his sisters might have about her. Who is this girl? And yeah, so 3 days, after 3 days and nights, finally they start. Jane was able to get out of bed, and then they started asking her who she was, where she was from, and she lied. She didn't want to give too many information about herself in case Mr. Rochester or the servants would search for her, and she didn't want to be found by Mr. Rochester or the Thornfield household. So she lied, and she called herself Jane Elliot instead of Jane Eyre. And then she asked for work. She asked Mr. St. John if he could find her some work. This is all that she wants, to be able to find some to find a job so that she can work and earn her own money and have some and be independent and then leave the house. But she asked that in the meantime, if she could stay at Moore House. This is the house where Diana and Mr. St. John and his sisters live. So they then start discussing, and then Jane reveals that it's actually not her real name. My name is not Jane Elliot, but I cannot give you my true one. So she keeps still some mystery around herself. She doesn't want to reveal too much, but she become more honest towards the three siblings, and she just asks for a job. And she's asking whether Mr. St. John would help her. And a few weeks, yeah, and a month later, Mr. St. John found a job for Jane as a school teacher, a primary school teacher. And she could start the next week. And on top of it, she would be able to live in the little house next to the school. How convenient is that? Amazing. She will be able to have her own independence and live from her work. And this school was a school for orphans. So poor children. So that reminds her that reminds herself this position in a way reminds her how when she was at this boarding school for girls, where only orphans were there. So she, of course, accepted the job and was excited to start working. Okay, chapter 10, let's start. A family for Jane. I enjoyed living in my little house, but the work was difficult. I had 20 students and most of them could not read or write. In the evenings, I was sad and I had a lot of bad dreams. I also asked myself again and again, which was better? Should I follow my heart and live in a warm, beautiful European country with Mr. Rochester? Was living that beautiful life better than being a plain village school teacher in England? Sometimes I walked to the door of my cottage and looked at the beautiful fields around me, and I started to cry. One snowy evening, at the beginning of winter, St. John came to visit me. He often came to see me after work, and I understood him better now. This evening, he took off his coat and sat down next to the fire. Come and sit with me, Jane, he said. I want to tell you a story. I went and sat next to him. 20 years ago, he started, a poor clergyman fell in love with a rich man's daughter. The clergyman and this woman had a daughter. Soon after, they both became ill and died. The daughter went to live with her aunt. You might guess who that story is about. And he went on to tell me the story of my life at Lowood and my time at Thornfield, finishing with, after learning that Mr. Rochester already had a wife, the governess left Thornfield in the middle of the night. Many people had looked for her. They have advertised in the newspaper for her, but no one knows where she is. I have here a letter from a Mr. Briggs, a lawyer, which tells me the story I have just told you. It's a strange story, isn't it? Just tell me this, I said quickly. Now that you know much about my life, so much about my life, what news is there of Mr. Rochester? I know nothing about him, St. John replied. The letter does not talk about him. Mr. Briggs wrote to him about you, but it was answered by someone called Alice Fairfax. My body turned cold. Oh, sorry. Was Mr. Rochester in Europe? Was he trying to escape from his thoughts about me? Oh, my poor Edward. He is a bad man, said St. John. You don't know him, so please don't talk about him, I said. Very well, he replied. Anyway, I must tell you the reason for the letter. Your uncle, Mr. Eyre of Madeira, is dead. And he has left you his house and £20,000. You are a rich woman now, Jane. I? Rich? I could not believe this news. I sat silently while St. John got up and put his coat on. So this is St. John here and Jane, shocked by this amazing news. £20,000. Well, it is a wild night. It is a wild night, and I must go, he said. Just one question, I said quickly. Why did Mr. Briggs write to you? He stopped and then came slowly back to the fire. Your name is Jane Eyre, he said. Yes. My mother's name was Eyre. Before she got married, she had two brothers. One was a clergyman who married Miss Jane Reed of Gateshead. There were your parents. It's meant to be her cousin, so wait. My mother's name was Eyre before she got married. She had two brothers who married Miss Jane Eyre. Oh yeah, of course. So the clergyman and Miss Jane Reed of Gateshead. Jane Reed of Gateshead was was Jane's mother. So he is the son of one of the brother of yeah. No, my mother was before she got. Oh yeah, so his mother was a woman. Oh yes, oh my God, I'm tired today. So his mother was Eyre from the Eyre family. So she got two brothers. Jane Reed. So the other heir of Madeira was your uncle. So the mother of Jane. So basically, sorry. So Jane mother had two, yes, basically she had two brothers, and Mr. St. John is the son of one of the brothers. That's it. Okay, so the other John Eyre of Madeira was our uncle. Your mother was my father's sister. Your mother was my father's sister? Oh, sorry. So oh gosh, I got confused. So her father was Eyre. Ah, yes, her father was Eyre. He married a Jane Reed. Okay, sorry. So yes, it has to be, yeah, this way. Yeah. So your mother, okay, so his mother, the mother of Mr. St. John, is the sister of Jane's father. Okay, so it's Jane's father who is Eyre. Okay. Your mother was my father's sister. Okay, yeah, sorry, that's right. I said. Then I stood up. My Uncle John was your Uncle John. You, Diana, and Mary are his sister's children. Then we are cousins. We are, yes. I watched him. It seemed that I had found a family, three cousins to love. Oh, I am happy, I cried. He smiled. Of course you're happy. You're rich. Our uncle decided to leave all his money to you. What do you mean? I cried. I began walking fast across the room. You already have sisters, so this means nothing to you, but I had none. but I had no one. And now I have a family. You saved my life. There are four of us. £20,000. That's £5,000 each. It's a lot of money. You must write to tell Diana and Mary tomorrow. They don't have to work anymore. So you see, Dana is already thinking, she's more happy, and that's the end of chapter 10. So it's interesting how these two react differently towards these news. Is that you can see that St. John is more interested in the fact that she is now rich, whereas Jane is more excited by the fact that she has a family, she has cousins, than the factor of being rich. When he said to her, "Oh, you're now rich, you have £20,000," she didn't really seem that excited. But when she learns that St. John and his sisters are her cousins, then this is where she gets the news is really interesting to her, or it made sense. So immediately, she think about sharing those £20,000 in four. And that's why she says that's £5,000 each. And already with £5,000, they don't need to work. So 5,000 is already enough for one person. So you can see how benevolent Jane is, and how selfless she is, or selfless, or really someone that cares more about people than herself and just money. You see that she highly value relationship and people than money. Yeah, it's so generous. So Casey's saying that it's so generous from Jane, but also very fair. Yes, because in the end, Mr. John Eyre, their uncle, didn't really think about his other nephews, nieces and nephews. The others don't have anything. It's only Jane who inherited the whole money. So in a way, she she reestablished justice or fairness between the cousins in relation to the money that she inherited, because it is not told here, but there is a scene in the original text where you've got St. John and his sisters arguing about the fact that they did not, they learned that their uncle is dead, and they're like, oh, and he didn't even think about giving us some money, or, they're criticizing their uncle's decision to exclude them from any inheritance. And they have that conversation, and now obviously it all makes sense to Jane to share the money, but also because she sincerely loved these two girls that she had the time to spend with, and during this whole time, and she just wants to also to share this this money, and she knows that yeah, they will do something good because they are good people. I was happy for, so Katie say, I was happy for Mary and Diana. Yeah, definitely, because they are, both of them are governesses as well. And um it's it means here we can see a real sisterhood, and independently of the fact that they are cousins, they're related in terms of blood, but you can see that if I get this money and this independence, then she wants to share it with, also give the possibility of her cousins to also be independent and have the life um, they wish to have, they want to lead. So she gives them the possibility to become um, the women, who they want to be, who they want to become. So that's so much more powerful than just keeping all the money and just maybe do some charitable things, but or just keeping their money for to yourself only. It is really sharing that um, that independence, and it's empowering her. It's empowering her cousins as well to access a higher rank in society as well, because money means also to be to be able to access um, um, a higher rank in society, and to from being poor to middle or upper class. Remember how the society is divided. So they go up straight to upper class when they were just the not the equivalent of servants, like poor people, but they were in this in between classes of being poor and middle class, but they're not really middle class because they, or maybe, yeah, there's no real middle, yeah, middle class maybe, but they're not really they not able to be independent and own their own house. That costs too much. Yeah. So yeah, it's it's such a, yeah, it's a real uh generous act that Jane does. And if you could think of all the rich people on the country could do this same, well, they give a lot of money as well, but if the super rich people could think more like Jane did, then this this world will be a much better place, and a much fairer place as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But those kind of idol and those um, um, higher purpose um, are still something that people believe, and we must believe in a more equal society and a fair society as well. So you see how it's interesting how the the question of fairness and equal chances and opportunity can um, um can I don't have the word, but um sorry, but can be triggered from this chapter. I would say, I wanted to say, and I apologize. I don't have the exact term here, but it's interesting how what we can take from this chapter and this act of generosity and of um of fairness and I wouldn't say common sense, but this act of fairness, I would say, and this act of this shows how intelligent she is. She's acting in a way that it's much more intelligent and more she's a smart, this is how you can see that she's a smart woman, because she understands that giving power through the division of this money to her cousins, and she gives the equal amount to each, even to St. John. She doesn't give more money to St. John. That's interesting. Also to see that Charlotte Brontë, the author, equally divided the money into four. So they all get the same amount. So that shows the intelligence of Jane Eyre as well. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this thoughts on the chapter. I hope you enjoyed this live reading. Make sure you subscribe to the book club to take part in the workshop, the live workshop of Jane Eyre. We have two more sessions. That's four. Two more sessions left. One this Saturday to discuss the chapters 6 to 9. And next Saturday will be the following Saturday will be the last session. So make sure you join. I will see you tomorrow for a new live reading of Jane Eyre. We will read chapter 11. And in the meantime, I wish you a beautiful end of the day. Bye-bye. Bye.